Hello, hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the monthly card reading for December 2025. Oh my gosh, we're here, the last month. It's so crazy. All right, you guys know what to do. Please like this video. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies and the influences of the month. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and comments down below. All I ask is that you be kind. Same 3 decks as I've been using in the last couple of readings, all shuffled, ready to go. You guys are familiar with them, so no surprises. All right, let's just jump right into it. What do we need? What do we need for December? Guardian Angel, you're not alone. Okay, I love this. So basically, wow, right off the bat, nice energy. So it's basically saying that you need to connect. This could be to a higher power, divine, God, source energy, whatever you want to call it. So you need to connect to something bigger than you. You need to realize that you're not alone. If you're feeling alone, you need to connect to people. You need to feel some type of connection. Again, could be to a higher power, could be to other human beings. Okay, so we need to find connection in any way that we can. So that could be finding community, that could be finding like-minded people, that could be getting back into your spiritual practices, but we definitely need it. It's right there, pretty clear. What do we need to take action on? Gossip, awakens considerations and feelings of others, honoring trust. Okay. So it's in the light, so it's not in the shadow. So it's basically saying that we need to communicate, right? Because communicate in a way that doesn't put people down, that doesn't start rumors, that isn't secretive. I know gossip is kind of weird in the light, but it's basically saying like even just like talking over like the silly things, like this is kind of a weird thing to say, but this is what's kind of coming up as like an example. Like maybe you love like reality TV, right? And it's it's silly, or it's a form of like escapism from like what's going on in the world, right? And maybe you feel like you just like can't connect to people, but like maybe that's something silly you can connect on with people, so it's almost kind of like saying like find what you can, and especially coming from this, the guardian angel asking you to connect to people. So it's basically saying like find something that you can connect on. You don't have to bond over gossip or putting people down. You can connect on, it doesn't have to be super deep, but it could be things that maybe you enjoy, that the other person enjoys, that in reality TV. To me, I feel like if I can't like connect with like a lot of people a lot of the times, I say, what are they watching on TV, and connect about arts, or connect about something on the television, trying to find like somebody that watches the same shows as you, some commentary. And again, it doesn't have to be deep, doesn't have to be like the art of character development or storyline. It could be just something like silly. So it's kind of saying like, coming off of that guardian angel card, like connect with people as much as you can, like even if it is surface level. And I know because I'm an introvert myself, sometimes that could be painful, but this is just asking you to be like a little bit more, things like there's like a message here that's saying like you don't have to be so deep all the time. You don't have to, it would be nice to just like be jovial with other human beings and laugh and have like a good time. You don't necessarily always have to be finding like a philosophical conversation with somebody. This could just be, humans were meant to like connect even like on the silliest of things. So I actually like that. That's a very interesting message we're getting off the bat. So definitely getting this feeling of like, I know I only pulled 2 cards so far, but almost like a feeling of like maybe it's a good month to be a little bit more social than maybe we have been in the past. So, all right, what do we have? Issues with peace. Oh, God. Right off the bat, huh? Okay, so basically this is saying we're having issues finding peace. I don't like that. It could mean so many different things, but our soul is not at peace this month, and I don't love it. So we're having issues just finding that. It could mean so many different things. I'm going to continue to pull the cards, obviously, and finish this reading. And if any of them kind of connect to that, because I can give you like some random examples. There's a lot of things that don't bring us peace, but maybe we'll get more clarity as we go on. But don't love that. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't love it. All right, what are we having challenges with? High Priest, intend and create. Okay, so intentional creation. I like that, but it's under challenge. Okay, so basically it's saying we're having a hard time creating something or starting something or bringing, but more importantly, things that have more intention, I would say, that doing things in more of an intentional or purposeful way. So this is basically saying there might be a delay with something like this. Like maybe you wanted to start something, but you can't, but you still feel like there's like a delay to it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's money, whether it's the holidays, whether it's, I don't know, your job, you know, you still don't have the time to do it or the resources or like whatever it actually is. Feels frustrating because I definitely feel like there's like something attached to it where like the energy from this card is like, and you guys know I read intuitively, it feels like more patience is needed. That's what it's saying. So it feels a little bit challenging because there's a lot of things that you do want to do, but there's still things that are like the things that you want to do that are more purposeful or more intentional. You still have to do the things, you know, maybe if you want to, like maybe you're looking for a job that feels more intentional or purposeful or intuitive to you, and for some reason it's not coming up, which makes sense because it's December, and I don't know if this is true or not, but usually the sentiment is a lot of jobs don't rehire again until like January. Okay, so you might be like frustrated that you can't, you know, find a new job now that feels more intentional, and it's really frustrating. So definitely get this message of a little bit more patience here is needed. So hold on is the best, you know, hang in there is like the best thing I can say. All right, what's changing? What's actually changing? Vampire makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Yay! Okay, this is a good card to get, especially if it's in the light, and especially if you identify as an empath, which is somebody that absorbs energy like a damn sponge, right? So this is basically saying that you're realizing what's draining you. You're realizing what's taking energy away from you. You're realizing all of that, and that's what's changing, is you're realizing that you are not going to do things that drain your energy anymore. This could be something as simple as finding a different way to do something, like doing something more efficiently, or this could be something as dramatic as like cutting somebody out of your life that you consider that drains you. So, you know, either way, whether it's like, you know, dramatic in that way, like, you know, sometimes I call it like major or something a little bit more minor, it doesn't matter. I feel like it's like the whole spectrum of it, that we're finally like realizing what's draining us and having the courage to let it go and make some changes in our life around that. So very proud of you guys, and that's pretty cool. All right, what do we need to focus on? The fates. Okay, focus on what is meant to be, focus on things that are working, make things a priority that you know are meant to be. So what does that mean? That means that this is basically saying like stop forcing things that aren't, like don't focus on the things that you have to force. Focus on things that are maybe a little bit more easier, that are easier and that flow a little bit better. And then focus on that, you know, what fate is basically like if something is meant to be, it will be. Like I feel like the anthem for this is like that song by the Beatles, Let It Be. Let it, whatever will be. That's it. It's really kind of like as simple as that. So stop forcing things. Stop putting, you know, this could be connected to the vampire where you're putting all of your energy towards worrying about this thing or things that you're trying to make work out, like you're trying to control the outcome, and it's just like not working for you. So it's good coming off that vampire because it's kind of saying like, this is part of it. That's part of the philosophy of, you know, if you want to stop giving your energy to things that drain it, you have to stop trying to force things and control the outcome of certain things. Okay, so this is really important. It's saying make that the priority this month, and saying like, if it'll be. That's it. That could be pertaining to the example I gave here with the high priest. You're trying to find a new job. but it's just not the right, timing is just not on your side for whatever reason. And you're trying to find like more of a purposeful thing. You can't, you can apply for the jobs, you can show up for the interviews, you can redo the resume, you can do all the things that you can control, but you can't control the outcome. Okay, so do your best. That was something I said in the last weekly. The last week of November was a little rough, okay? But this is kind of the same thing. Do your best and really take that motto for the whole month, okay? If it'll be plain and simple. Stop trying to force outcomes. Stop trying to control things. You have to understand that if it's meant to be, it'll be, okay? And that's with everything in life. All right, what do we need to reflect on? Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. Okay, so this is basically a power card. It's saying we have the magic all along. We're very empowered. So definitely reflecting on the places where I would actually, it's basically saying, I almost said reflect on the places where you feel powerless, but it's actually saying reflect on the times and the situations and experiences where you felt the most powerful. All right, so Spirit is asking us, I haven't had that feeling of like being empowered in a really long time. So I love that this is coming through here. It's on reflect, so it's usually about like looking back, but it is saying like, where do you feel the most powerful? And the fact that it's asking us to reflect on that means that, maybe next steps are embodying that. Like, where do you feel the most powerful? What relationships make you feel the most powerful, right? Or empowered, what work situations, what family situations, what kind of friendships, that kind of stuff. So, what kind of environments make you feel powerful? So I love that. Really, that's a theme here, really start thinking about that, right? So maybe it's a hint that we're really coming into our power for the new year. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. I do like that. Okay, responsibilities. We have the God archetype, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Okay, realizing that you're in control, realizing that, I know I'm saying that after but here's the thing. You are in control, but there's just certain things that the universe has to take reins. I'm sorry. It's just like, you can't control everything, but this is basically saying, when I'm saying in control, I mean of yourself. You create your own reality. You can do you can set yourself up for everything. You can manifest things. Okay? So that's where it's saying like where your power is. And that really kind of is saying that. It's basically saying, I love that it's coming off of the Magic Guardian, because it's saying like your responsibilities are to realize how powerful you are. Love these two together. So it was a little bit foreshadowing here with the Magic Guardian. You need to realize that you can create your own reality, that you're in charge of the decisions that you make, you're in charge of of your actions and your behaviors, you're in charge of regulating yourself, all of those different things. So focus on what you can control. Again, with these three cards, that's basically the theme here. And realizing that you are a very powerful being, okay? Because you come from God, right? God is within you. At least that's the belief here. I'm not religious, so I don't believe in a hierarchy. I believe in a, what's the word? Whatever the opposite of a hierarchy is like a co-creation. A co-creation, right. So, I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. My brain is still a little out there, but yeah, so like it's more of like a co-creation. So you can co-create with the universe for sure. So your responsibilities are to really step into that power. And again, reflect on that power, the situations that you do or the things that do bring you that empowerment. So definitely, I like this so far because it's ramping up. It's kind of like ramping up maybe for the new year, because I don't know about you guys, but 2026 really needs to be a good year for me, okay? It needs, please, okay? It's been really, in my opinion, for me, about 4.5 years of survival mode, karmic lessons left and right, okay? So I I need 2026 to be good. And by the way, I am going to be doing a yearly reading. Okay, so we are going to check that out. So we will look into it. That we posted obviously at the end of this month. So this is about your power and realizing your power, co-creating within that power, and creating your own reality. So I think I said enough there. All right, money, finances, and career. I put it all in the same slot. We have why. Okay, so this is about asking questions. This is about curiosity. This is about self-awareness. So yeah, this is about thinking about, first of all, it could be about asking questions at work. That's for one. So maybe you need to be asking more questions. Maybe you need to be asking for more things. You need to be more curious about maybe the different departments that on your floor or in your company or like whatever. Maybe you need to be like more curious about something when it comes to work. Same thing with money and finances. Maybe you need to do more research on. I know this tracks for me about I'm going to start now that I feel like I'm getting close to the end of needing all of my cash liquid because I'm chronically ill. So things might come up where I need to spend a lot of money on some kind of equipment or it's been a while since it's been like that, or like, doctors or, let's just put it this way, holistic health is not cheap. But anyway, so I might want to think about investing. So I do need to do, it's funny that it comes up because I do need to do my research about that, about index funds and all that good stuff. Fun stuff, right? Yay, fun stuff. I don't know. If you find index funds fun, good for you, but I definitely do not. But anyway, so you might have to do some kind of research here with money and finances and career, maybe like researching what kind of career would be best for you. It's saying like you need more knowledge in some way, shape, or form. And again, it could be what I was saying earlier about maybe needing more information and knowledge about how your company works, if you want to change departments or something like that. Maybe you need to know more about the product that you're selling. I don't know, but definitely says like you need to gain more knowledge. You need to ask how things work. You need to, really understand how things work. And that would really help you in money, finances, and career. So, all right, what is surprising? We have High Priestess, harness mystic power. Okay, so we have the High Priest and the High Priestess here. And we have, this is another, I would consider the Magic Guardian and the High Priestess the two power cards in the deck, because this is basically saying like, harness your mystical power. And so this is about gaining more power, right? It's kind of the same. It's like seeing your magic, and then, mystic is like, being a mystic means like, intuition, your divination skills, but doesn't have to be that literal. But anyway, I mean, it could be. So it says surprise. So maybe you surprise yourself with being really into astrology this month, or you surprise yourself with getting back into your tarot cards, or you surprise yourself this month, with getting into numerology, like whatever it actually is. That's really specific. So that could be possible, but it could just also be understanding your power to co-create, as I was just mentioning here. I love the second row here. To co-create, to bring in abundance and prosperity, to stand up for yourself, to conquer anything. I know we don't have the warrior archetype, at least quite yet. We still have 5 more cards to go, but it could also be close to that energy where it's saying like we can conquer anything, we can conquer our demons. We've got this kind of situation. So definitely does feel like we're, so it's under surprise. So it's saying like we're really feeling more into our power, and it's really kind of coming as a surprise. The reason why I actually think it might be under surprise is because the High Priestess is under the challenge, because it's saying like we're having an issue, feeling more intentional or purposeful. So that part of it, we're having issues with, but at least we're feeling like we're more in control. We feel more empowered in some way, shape, or form. And it's hard to like, I know I keep saying that word, but it's hard to kind of like explain. And if you can, put it down below. If you can explain the word empowered in more maybe adjectives, like it's just like a really hard thing for me to describe, besides like feeling like in control or Yeah, there's nothing. Guys, I'm drawing a blank here. I don't think there's anything else I can kind of describe it. But if you know when you feel, when you feel helpless versus when you feel, empowered. So there's a difference, and it's under surprise. So I think you're going to be kind of like feeling that way. And it might be coming, when you're feeling like, oh God, I can't align with things, and I can't do things more intentionally. I can't do things more purposefully, but I do feel empowered in some way, shape, or form in a different way. So I think that's also why it's coming under surprise. So I love this, guys. It's like a between the Magic Guardian, God, and High Priestess, very, 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 very powerful cards that really align with being the co-creator and creating your own reality, and that abundance type energy, which is really good. I like that. I do want to also say, I feel like since they're in the second row and they didn't start out in the first row, sometimes I kind of like look at it like it might come more towards like the middle of the month. Like it might, maybe like the 15th would be the middle. 15th or 16th would be the middle of the month. Might come like a little bit earlier, around the 14th or the 13th, something like that. So if you start off the beginning of the month, like not necessarily feeling that, especially with that issue with peace going on there. Oh, I just spit here. Sorry. That's okay. Wait a little bit, for the energy to kind of like settle and kind of get into the, give it a chance, basically is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised maybe like around the 12th or the 13th or something like that, maybe you'll start feeling it. And I didn't say this in the beginning, but I always do mean this, or recommend this, I should say. Definitely watch this reading in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the month. Okay, I always recommend that, even for the weeklies, the beginning of the week, middle of the week, end of the week, just really so you can absorb everything and kind of like go along with the energies. And sometimes when you watch these and listen, and it's sometimes easier when to kind of connect the dots when it's actually happening, if that makes sense. Okay, we have Avenger in the Shadow, resorting to violence in the name of this card again in the same position. Resorting to violence in the name of under friends. Oof, we don't love that. Okay, this card, infamously, I should say, came up in the last week of November. We had in the overall outcome. I definitely remember that. And I didn't love it. I don't love it here. So basically this is saying like resorting to violence in the name of a cause, like you're just being very overly righteous about a cause or your side of things or something like that. And so it's under friends. So I'm not going to lie to you guys, possibly having a fallout with friends regarding politics, or some kind of cause, maybe some kind of moral dilemma of some kind, or an ethical dilemma, where maybe you feel like you and a friend or a community do not see eye to eye on certain things, and maybe it's a deal breaker. Maybe it's just conflict or an argument or a fight or whatever it is, and you work it out. But I definitely do find chaos and conflict with, and righteousness in your friends and community group. And this could also be family too. Okay, so I'll tell you this, American politics is very polarizing. I felt like we were maybe going in a direction where we can start to really get along and talk to each other and more tolerance. So I'm not thrilled about these cards, okay? I'm not thrilled about these energies that are coming up, but I read what I get, and this is what I get. And so there definitely feels like there could be more division. It doesn't even have to do with politics. It could just be like maybe you find that a friend is cheating on their husband and you've had enough with it, right? That's not your moral code, that you don't want to be friends with somebody that is doing that to somebody, is deceiving somebody consistently or whatever. So, it could be something like that. That definitely fits. So it's not great, and it doesn't necessarily mean the breaking of a friendship or breaking off of the connection. It just means high conflict. But if you're really skilled, you can get through the conflict, or maybe, I don't have too many things on this board so far in this reading about endings. I don't see anything necessarily. which is interesting because it's the last month of the year, but at least the calendar year. But just, it is what it is. It has now come up twice from now and then the last reading. So in the same position too. So I mean, you can't make that stuff up. Everything has been shuffled, obviously, very well, I will say. So it is what it is. Romantic connection, building blocks. Okay, this is a good one for romantic connection. So this is about building blocks, and sometimes it means like on a new foundation, which is great. So maybe it doesn't actually have to be like a new relationship. It could mean like you're starting a new romantic connection based off of a new, maybe you're married to the same person, but you are going, you started therapy and it feels like a blank slate, like that kind of stuff. So I like that. So it's saying that you're building a foundation, and this fares well for my single people. You might meet somebody that you want to build with. That's really great. Or this could be literal too, actually. Like maybe you're with somebody and you decided that you guys want to build something together, whether it's like a company or a business venture or a family. Okay, that could also be that. I don't ever comment like on pregnancy stuff, but I'll just leave that at that, okay? All right, so I see it as all positive, okay? So, but you could be, maybe this is the week that you decide that you want to start a family, maybe you start IVF or something, I don't know, but I love this. I think it's really great. It's saying that you can build a solid, a solid thing on a solid foundation, and I love that. So definitely, this is really good. Even though the friends and family situation here is not so great, romantic connections, A+. Okay, what's important? Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Okay, so this is about being a not traitor, but a trader. So this is about exchanging resources. So don't give. This is about an even give and take. So don't take too much. Don't give too much. Make it an even give and take. So it's under important, and it's in the month of December, which has the holidays in it, where people give gifts and that kind of thing. Do not go overboard for people that don't go overboard for you. Okay? Make sure it's an even give and take. There's not too much more I can say there, but don't go out of your way for people that don't go out of the way for you. Okay, health and wellness. I almost said health and fitness, but same thing. Fitness is definitely in here. So we have bully, but we have in the light. Have to confuse bully you. Okay, so the opposite of bullying. So maybe like uplifting people. Uplifting people. Maybe like telling off a bully or like standing up for somebody. That's the kind of energy we have here. So how does it relate to health and wellness? This could be actually as simple as like maybe stop being negative to yourself, or you stand up to somebody that you think is bullying you. Like maybe you're at the gym, speaking of fitness, maybe you're at the gym and you feel like there's been somebody that's been bullying you or bullying somebody else, and you tell them off. Like I got like some good energy here, and I love it that it kind of like feels like it's bleeding or meshing into a little bit of the power situation here. It's kind of like you're taking back your power from a bully in some way, shape, or form, and could be your inner bully. Okay, definitely could be your inner bully, like, push, being too hard on yourself, that kind of thing, which we definitely can be very self-critical. And so that is changing, and that's great. And that could be about our weight. That could be about how far we are in our healing journey. That could be about maybe you're on a spiritual awakening journey. You're on the shadow work parts of things. And sometimes, shadow work doesn't mean beating yourself up. It's just basically taking everything that's hidden and making it not hidden anymore, right? That's really what it means. And, sometimes shame comes with that, embarrassment, but no need to beat yourself up, right, guys? So yeah, I just love it. It's just kind of like turning things around when it comes to health and wellness. So yeah, hope that makes sense. All right, overall outcome. We got something good. Okay, we have observer. I like that. I think we actually got this maybe a couple of readings back now, but observer is really kind of always about watching things, maybe not having enough knowledge quite yet to take action on something, which I like. It's not always like a bad thing where, sometimes inaction is doing something maybe too fast or rushed it can be a negative thing. And so that is kind of like the energy here. It's kind of saying like, Don't do things so fast. Don't rush things. And that makes sense coming up from here. Yeah, it does make sense with the issue with the peace. We might feel like we're just not where we need to be, right? Especially with this intend and create, where we're having challenges, like trying to be more in alignment, and it's just not working for us. So this is saying, like, don't just do something to do something. Do not rush something. And I'm definitely, again, I got it here in the challenge, this energy of like, be a little bit more patient. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So so it's basically saying being a little bit more patient. So if you wanted something to be done by the end of the year, I will say this, it definitely does feel like it's not exactly that. I also don't have any endings here, as you noticed, which typically sometimes comes, with the last month of the year, but because we're moving into a new numerology year, which is the 1, which is interesting, right? Is it the 1 for people? Yeah, we're going into a universal year 1, okay? This could be for a lot of different reasons. We will do the yearly and we'll find out. But I have a feeling a lot of the ending stuff is going to be happening in March, okay? March and like April, we're going to be seeing like a lot of like new beginning stuff. So this makes sense to me, and it makes sense that we're definitely getting these messages of be a little bit more patient, but we are getting into our power. So I love that. Focus on the positives, and there's a lot here for sure. So I love it. All right, guys, have a wonderful month. Happy holidays to all, whatever you celebrate. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.